Hello and good morning to you all. My name is Anas Abubakar Bisu, and today we're going to discuss course 2 of the EEP lecture series, EEP 4201, Venture Creation and Growth. We will be discussing Module 5 titled New Opportunities for Expansion or e-Business. This module, that's Module 5, explores the process and issues involved in conducting business and commerce via electronic media and the internet. This is referred to as electronic or e-commerce. The module also discusses technologies used to deliver e-commerce, e-business, and strategies used to launch it. That is to launch e-commerce or e-business. The module also discuss the fundamental concepts about e-commerce, e-business, and related technologies, as well as what it takes to succeed in this electronic-driven or e-driven economy. The model also discusses the definitions, issues, tools, processes, terminologies, technologies, and the best practices. We will also describe in the model the use of the internet and electronic technologies as a means of achieving new opportunities for expanding businesses. So the outlines, we have a introduction where we introduce what the e-commerce, e-business, and the influence of some technologies on this e-commerce and e-business, and then definitions of commerce, e-commerce, and e-business. We'll also discuss a difference between e-business and e-commerce, the key technologies and dimensions of e-commerce, advantages and disadvantages of e-commerce, steps to start in e-commerce, then the state of the e-commerce in Nigeria, and conclusion. What are the learning objectives or learning outcomes we expect the student to be able to learn at the end of this module? This includes students should be able to describe the e-commerce, e-business, and related technologies, define e-commerce and describe how it differs from e-business. The student should also be able to describe the major types of e-commerce and e-business. Students should also learn to discuss the application of these techniques in real business, determine the hardware and software requirement for small e-commerce website, identify unique features and business significance of e-commerce technology. Then students should also be able to examine the challenges and prospect of e-commerce in Nigeria or in Nigerian business environment. So this lecture will be delivered in a one-way kind of traffic because I will be the one speaking to you. It's a video lecture online on demand. So I'll be discussing for 30 minutes and then we'll give you 10-minute break for you to go and have a coffee break or eat or whatever. And then 5 minutes of tech trend clip. And then we'll have another 30 minutes of discussion. Then I'll share the reading materials, the references for you to expand your reading based on what we have discussed. So to start with, we all know the current situation of our nation today, or even in real world today. Every year you have a number of graduates leaving the university and ready to engage in the real world. But there is no much white collar jobs. And even if there is too much competition. And also with the current trend, the skills requirement, because everyone is looking for a graduate with the skills or transferable skill or tech skill or whatever skill that you might bring to the table of your employer. Graduates need to learn to survive in this dynamic world because it's competitive, and also the skill requirement is growing. And as a graduate, you should be able to contribute more to society than someone who is not. So even if you are going into business, your business venture should be much more innovative and well planned compared to someone who well calculated and well managed compared to who is not a graduate in the business arena. If you can apply knowledge, skills, and competence or competencies acquired during your studies, you can be a potential job creator instead of a job seeker. So as an introduction, would always like to start with this, that people is the focus of every business. Humans are your customers. So in everything you do, business, commerce, and exchange or career, humans are always at the center of it because you interact with them. So everyone you meet has something valuable to teach you. So pay attention to whoever you meet and what you can learn from him or her. Steve Jobs once said, he says, your time is limited and don't waste it living someone else's life. So you have to look at what you got and then how you utilize it and how you use it instead of trying to copy others, which you might not be compatible with. In regarding the innovation and thinking beyond or outside the box, is you need to move fast and break things. Unless you're breaking stuff, you're not moving fast enough. So this is what Mark Zuckerberg says. So it's about innovation. It's about thinking outside the box. It's about thinking beyond what you have learned in the classroom. So, and also try to apply it, like act on what you have learned instead of just keeping it theoretical. And do not afraid of making mistakes or breaking things or failing, because businesses fail, by the way. So as an introduction, the advancement of science and technology, especially the areas of electronics and then the internet or information and communication technology, this really influenced the conduct of business and commercial activities in the world. There is no need to emphasize on this. Almost everyone nowadays know how much hours we spend online and how much money we spend on electronic gadgets, and then how much we do with such technologies. So we use the internet because of the fast changing information technology and convergence of communication technologies as well. This have taken the business practices by storm, and the use of the internet has made the world small, and through it, transactions are conducted globally at the speed of light, so at a very faster rate. So today, this convergence means that you can communicate both using your voice, video, or text, which before now, you have only a phone that allows you to speak to someone without seeing him or her or seeing an individual. But today you can be able to, there are applications, there are enabling technology that will allow you to see and talk to someone, as well as, if you like, chat, text it if you don't want to. And then you can record and send so people can open the messages. So this has have changed the business practices. And then you can conduct also business transactions at a faster rate. So e-connectivity, the E stands for electronics, and then connectivity is about linking two or more devices or two or more things, like mobile device, mobile phone and tablet, or computer and a tablet, or any electronic gadget, or even TV with the remote is connectivity. So e-connectivity reduces distance and brought people together. And then thanks to the development of electronics, information and communication technology, also known as ICT. So electronics and the internet formed vital part of business nowadays because of this enabling technology. So this provides new exciting opportunities for industries, governments, and individuals to connect and do business. There is also access to vast amount of information through the internet, which is made faster and easier by connecting two things at far distance, and then by enabling them to communicate voice, video, audio, and then text as well. So what are the opportunities that you could harness from new opportunities that this e-connectivity brought to us? So in recent years, internet users increases exponentially, which has revolutionized the business transaction as we know it. Today, we do businesses through WhatsApp, through Facebook, through social media, or through other social media platforms. And then some people open their websites, or they have retail stores online and things like that. So this brought new opportunities for business expansion. You can expand businesses without having a brick and mortar kind of a shop. You can expand your business online. Today, almost everything from machine to wearable connect to the internet. So this also brought another opportunity that there are limitless opportunities out there to be able to communicate with people, even through their watches or through their mobile phones. So you have potential customers connected almost using virtually everything. So this phenomenon is called Internet of Things or Internet of Everything technology. This technology that is able to connect watches, your gas cooker at home, your refrigerators, your laptops, your mobile phones, all connected together. These are the things that this technology is able to connect, and you can be able to communicate with such, and then also communicate with humans who are actually close to those things. So this technology, IoT, is expected to grow further, or is growing in a very faster rate. By 2020, you have about 50 billion devices connected to the internet, with about 250 million being vehicles. So today we see vehicles connected to the internet, where through your vehicle, you can be able to talk to your car and then browse internet through the screen of the car, like say Tesla cars and others that are coming up. And then about 27 billion machine-to-machine connection to the internet, including wearables by 2024. So this is huge. This is all market-based or customer base that you're getting, that you can be able to reach. All these devices are being handled by humans. So you can be able to use them to market your products and services. So you have potentially 27 billion customers or 50 billion customers while you're in your own room with just a single gadget. So this technological development will add about $15 trillion to global GDP in the next 15 years. So from now on, there is this opportunity for making more money, because this connectivity linking individuals and machines that are controlled by humans. So you have potential markets and new opportunities to explore and expand your business. So with all that said, you have to look at the problem before you start doing everything. Doing anything, you have to look at the problem at hand. Look around your environment, get a problem and see how you could solve that problem. So one of the co-founders of Google once said, solving big problems is easier than solving smaller problems, because some of the problems you see as very small, they are sometimes more complex than the big problems you see in terms of getting the solution. So you have to be careful. and then look at the problems carefully and see how you could solve it without thinking about the money first. The money comes anyway if you were able to solve the problem. So, business technologies that are involved. So today we have businesses that use unique technologies and embrace a wide range of methods, such as e-banking, e-trading, e-cataloging, digital marketing. These are all enabling technologies that businesses use today in a different or wide range of methods. Video conferencing is there, multimedia communication, electronic data interchange, email, instant messaging, virtual reality, augmented reality, and also the future of metaverse, trying to put together both VR and AR together to be able to make the world actually truly a global village, and then connect and socialize with others. So all these are technologies that could be harnessed or explore to expand businesses nowadays. So what is e-business? The e-business, as I said, E stands for electronic or electronic business. This refers to the use of electronic and ICT technology or information communication technologies to conduct business or used to facilitate and improve business activities such as procurement, operation, manufacturing, marketing, and sales. This could also be used for logistics, human resources, like recruitment and other things, finance management, research and development, or R&D. E-business also relate to any commercial activity conducted electronically. It include commercial transactions using the internet, telephone, and fax. So this telephone and fax now being integrated into one smart device that is in your pocket. So your pocket has a smart device that incorporate converge technology, both voice and video. So there is no need for faxing now. So such as also e-banking and e-payment, as well as e-purchasing. So you have a lot of activities that are conducted electronically nowadays with a small gadget that is in your pocket and very smart, that converge different technologies that used to be separate in the past. So e-business could be described as any electronic and ICT enabled system that suppliers, distributors, customers use as the basis for conducting business operations, such as communication with client or suppliers via email, sending email to other organizations, to other suppliers, selling or promoting products or services via web or email, website to provide public information about the business. So this is simply what is referred to as e-business, using the internet for online banking, which we are used to nowadays, and bill payment, online research about customers and competitors. This is all business, providing technical or customer service by email or web, manage and distribute organizations, document via intranet. So what is commerce? Commerce involves exchange of goods and service, or negotiated exchange of goods and services between individuals or companies. Each party hopes to gain benefit by exchanging something with the other party. Mainly nowadays, or in commerce, or in this model, to be specific, when we say commerce, we are referring to exchange of money by parties in order to gain benefits. So money in exchange of goods, money is exchanged for goods and services. Also valuables can be exchanged. But in this case, as far as we are concerned, in the model, when we say commerce, we'll be referring to exchange of goods for money. or money is exchanged for goods and services. So traditional commerce, and now moving to e-commerce. What is e-commerce? It's also electronic commerce. So what is the difference between the traditional commerce and then electronic commerce? That is what you should pay attention to. So in e-commerce, this involves the process of buying, selling, transfer, exchange of products, services, and or information, but electronically. So the difference here is you use electronic media to do this exchange of goods and services for the benefit of the two or more parties. Exchange of business information, maintaining business relationships, and conducting business transactions using electronic network is also part of e-commerce. So it's built on traditional commerce by adding the flexibility and speed offered by electronic medium. So you just add the flexibility and the speed of electronic medium because it allows you to reach more people, and then it's faster as well as easier than if you have a shop somewhere that do the exchange that someone has to travel, but nowadays you don't need to do that. So e-commerce also facilitate an improved cost saving, increased efficiency, and competitiveness. Traditional business methods are redesigned through communication and transactions over electronic medium. So it's just the redesign of traditional business or traditional commerce by adding electronic medium in which the transaction take place, or on which the transaction take place. So what is the difference between these two terms, the e-commerce and e-business? We have seen what e-business is. E-business is much more broader compared to e-commerce. And then we have seen how commerce transformed to e-commerce from traditional method to this new method that add flexibility and speed. So both commerce and business is an organized profit-seeking activity in terms of English meaning. They all seek for profit. They are mainly profit-seeking, but sometimes business could be not actually regarding profit-seeking, but just doing business without exchange of goods for money also. So e-commerce and e-business are different, but often used interchangeably. The E short for electronics, as we mentioned, electronic network or electronic network, electronic or electronic network, which are computer networks, are also electronic network. So both terms apply to business using electronic network to conduct commercial and business activities. So e-commerce are e-business, but not the other way. So almost all e-commerce are e-businesses, but not all e-businesses are e-commerce. So e-business is much more wider because it could involve research and development, which might not be just direct exchange of goods and services for many, no, or exchange of valuables, no. So it could be maintaining relationships and, you know, working for a company. It's also some sort of business. So e-commerce versus e-business still continues. So we have e-commerce that we have mentioned that is any transaction performed via electronic. And we said in this regard, when we discuss commerce in this model, we are referring to money, exchanging goods and services for money. So via electronic means. So if we are discussing e-commerce, we are discussing that transaction that performed via electronic network. This involves transfer of ownership or rights to the to use the goods and services. You buy something and then you transfer that goods and services and you get your money back. E-business involving money is an e-commerce. So if you have e-business, as we said, not all businesses involve money, but most of the commerce involve money. So if you have any business that involve money, it's an e-commerce. So that business is now an e-commerce. So they share this in common if a money exchange is involved. or exchanging goods and services for money is involved, then they all mean the same thing. As you either say e-business or e-commerce activity. E-business is much more than selling product and services. So it's much more than selling product and services. As I said, it includes marketing, procurement, research and development, customer relations. So e-commerce can also be viewed as a subset of the e-business, since it's a niche within an e-business. So the e-business could also involve money or exchanging goods and services for money, but e-commerce is solely an exchange of goods and services for profit making, and then that also involve money. So e-business can run any part of its operation online, such as inventory, risk management, finance, and human resources. E-commerce and e-business both sell products online and handle company activities or additional sales offline. So e-business is beyond buying and selling online, but deep into the process and cultures of enterprise. E-commerce involves buying and selling of products, services, and information by electronic means. Still on the differences. So you have both that uses this technology and infrastructure. But if you look at the side of the e-commerce, there is an involvement of exchange, money exchange in hands for goods and services. But in e-business, this could involve supplies, procurement, research and development. But in all of them, they use the technology or electronic network. They use the information and communication technology. That's where the intersection happens. So e-commerce defines interaction between organizations and customers, clients, or constituents. E-business also includes organizations' internal operations. It covers a broader range of activities. It allows more efficient and effective relationship with suppliers and partners to meet the expectations of clients, leading to improvements in the overall business performance. So not necessarily money, but meeting the expectations of clients, leading to improvements in the overall business performance is also business, but it's not commerce. Thus, these terms can be used interchangeably, bearing in mind the following relationship that we are going to see. So e-commerce is the same thing as e-business in terms of if e-business involve exchanging money or involve money exchange. So they are all the same. But sometimes they have an intersection by using the technology, electronic network. So they overlap, they use ICT and electronic network, information and communication technology, as I said, ICT. So they have that overlap, and then sometimes it involves money, so they have this overlap. But looking at it holistically, e-business is much more bigger and more broader. So you have e-commerce as a subset of an e-business. So A is when money is involved, they are all the same. B, when you use the technology, you look at the technology side, they all use the infrastructure, electronic infrastructure, they use information and communication technology. So they have an overlap somewhere, or if they use money. And then looking at it much more broader, e-business looking at things that are not commercial, but they are business. So you can say that e-commerce is a subset of e-business. So these are the possible relationships between e-business and then e-commerce. So we will take a break from here, and then well, we will get back after 10 minutes to continue with this lecture. Thank you and see you the next time.